Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Alliance live show number 18. I can't believe we've gotten through 18 episodes of this now. It's been a while since the start. I'm super excited. As always, I'm joined by my co-host and the Golden Chinchilla himself, good old Maurice. How you doing tonight, good old Maurice?
I'm good. Ready to go.
Okay, we got a lot to talk about. Obviously, we have Commander Luke in the game. This kind of came a little faster than I thought. I remember when the event first came out, like when they first started having the flash events for Luke, they were saying sometime in September. So I didn't expect it to happen so soon, but I'm glad. How'd you do in the Luke event? Did you get him to Gear 11 yet?
Yeah, I've been hoarding stuff for this new game mode, and I kind of just blew it all on him right away. So I took him all the way up, and I'm still testing him as we speak. Okay.
Well, let's get into the notes real quick here right away and just kind of discuss that. I have a lot of stuff I have to do before my reset here. So, okay. Here are the game notes for 8/9/2017. With the onset of Commander Luke Skywalker's name has officially been changed to Luke Skywalker Farm Boy. Okay, so for those of you that really care about that, he's actually officially Farm Boy Luke now. Yay. New Hope rework. As we discussed on the last show, we knew that old Ben and Luke Skywalker and these characters for the event were going to be getting an update. The only character not included in that only character not included in the event was Raid Han, or the original Han Solo. So his rework looks pretty cool. There's definitely a lot of interesting stuff there. Did you get a chance to take a look at it, Maurice?
Raid Han, yeah. I think definitely one of the better reworks of the bunch, I think.
Okay, so now with his quick draw, his basic attack, it's going to be deal physical damage to target enemy. This attack deals 75% more damage to targets with less than 50% turn meter and removes 35% turn meter if the target has more than 50% turn meter. In comparison to the old ability, which was deal physical damage to target enemy, this attack deals 50% more damage to targets with less than 50% turn meter. So they added some extra juice there to the ability. The Deadeye attack, which is the attack that gives him turn meter, is a deal physical damage. It's now deal physical damage to target enemy, stun them for 1 turn, and gain turn meter equal to Han's critical chance. So now this ability has a stun, which is also really cool. Never Tell Me the Odds now gains critical damage up for 2 turns as well. And also the Han also gains 50% turn meter instead of Han has a chance to gain 45% turn meter. So basically it's an automatic turn meter gain, right? And his Shoots First ability, which is unique, Han has a 35% counter chance and plus 20% critical chance. Han takes a bonus turn at the start of each encounter. During this turn, Han ignores taunts and can use this basic ability, but will stun the target for 1 turn. This stun can't be resisted. The first time each turn Han uses his basic attack, he attacks again, dealing 50% less damage. So this is a Zeta ability, and really cool because he actually now attacks twice at the start of an encounter. He also can ignore taunts, so he's going to be able to go, just kind of bypass your pre-taunting characters like Shore Trooper and Baze Malbus. What are your thoughts about him?
Well, that we were talking for weeks. This is what he needs, and he got it. Right off the bat. We'll see. And you want to say that this might eliminate pre-taunts, right? But then Commander Luke just came out, and he just synergizes so well with Baze. So
I know
it'll be interesting to see, how this plays out.
Yeah, I'm surprised. We were talking about it, and literally exactly what we said happened. We were talking about how if he could just ignore taunt, it'd be great. And they listened to the cries of the people. Okay, so Hero's Journey. So I'm sure all of you know now Luke's in the game, and the Hero's Journey event is what gave him to us. Retrace the steps of legendary Luke Skywalker from his humble beginnings on Tatooine through his daring escape from the Death Star, fight alongside farm boy Luke Skywalker, Stormtrooper Han, Princess Leia, Old Ben Kenobi, and R2-D2 to complete this 6-mission event and unlock Commander Luke Skywalker. The requirements are those characters that I just discussed, and the event begins on August 10th, which is obviously yesterday. So, yeah, I was able to get him to Gear 11. I unlocked him. What was your favorite part of the event? I mean, I have to say I was really impressed by the whole Old Ben theatric thing. Even though it wasn't really like a challenging thing, I kind of felt like when I went in there, I had no idea what was going on. You know, I was just whacking Darth Vader, and I'm doing nothing, and I'm like, hey, this is gonna. And I'm thinking to myself, like, if I really have to beat this guy, this is gonna be insane. Like, I'm never gonna do this. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking to myself, like my Old Ben's modded. He's doing nothing to him. And then, somebody in the chat on the live show had said, well, I was streaming it at the time. It said, to check out his last ability. I noticed that Old Ben had an extra ability there. I thought that was cool the way they did that. Even though, like I said, it was just kind of a throw in there. I think it kind of added, some cinematic value to the challenge.
Yeah, I was like you asked at the beginning there, and I was trying to think of how to word it without spoiling it, but you just spilled the beans. So I mean, I thought it was awesome. I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe I shouldn't have mentioned it. But I felt like it was. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was really cool. They took out like the auto and the 1, 2, 4 times speed for that one battle, made it real like dramatic and cinematic kind of in a way. I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, I was like losing. I mean, like I said, you had no idea going in. You're like losing to Vader, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna lose it, and there's no way I'm gonna beat this guy. You know what I'm saying? And then you put 2 and 2 together, and you start thinking about like what happens in this scene, and then it makes sense. And it's awesome. I thought it was a great thing, and I hope they do things like that in the future. With other events, maybe other legendary characters. Like if we get, Return of the Jedi Luke one day, I hope they have a cinematic like similar to, maybe it's like Luke versus Palpatine or something like that, or something. Who knows? But it'd be cool. Refreshing change to old difficulty. So now they have 5 attempts for hard nodes instead of 3. They're saying it's, I think, for a limited time. So. What do you think about that? I mean, that's awesome, right? Now you have a chance to get some of these harder to get characters a little bit faster.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, though. Like, I saw it and I was like, yes, I did a fist pump because I thought it was so cool. But then, like, you get in there and you start hitting, like, that bathe node 5 times. Like, your energy's gone. Like, I was like, oh, Like, I'm so used to just doing, like, 3, 3, 3 down the line there on the 9s. I just, did 5 on Trinnic. And then I had, 2 for base. I was like, I gotta refresh. And I didn't even, gotta reuse the whole refresh. It's cool, but it's not. I gotta get used to it. I gotta budget my energy a little better now.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Characters added to shipments. Well, I mean, some of these characters were already in shipments, I believe, with the exception of Ahsoka, and now they have a permanent tile for Darth Nihilus and Ahsoka Tano. Obviously, they have a bundle with the journey. With the Hero's Journey event, where you can get shards for Farm Boy Luke, Old Ben, Princess Leia, and Stormtrooper Han. Did you get a chance to look at the pack? I still feel like any of those 10 to 330 shard packs are better than the 5 shards at a time packs. But again, I mean, these are such attainable characters that unless you're really close to getting these characters done, I mean, I wouldn't even think about doing this. But I don't know.
No, we both been playing a while. I did a little work in Old Ben, but for the most part, I had all these characters done ages ago. To the newer player, and if you're really close, on a lot of people were dragging on the Old Ben. Like it's almost a better value just to buy $20 worth of crystals and just refresh 3-4 times a day, because you end up getting tons of credits, tons of Cantina currency, and the shards. So. That's something to think about, in the waning hours. You might just want to, if you're going to buy the pack, you'd almost be better off buying $20 worth of crystals, I think.
Yeah.
You'll get 80 shards plus tons of other goodies with it.
Yeah, I agree. They also have a bundle where you can get, I think 80 character shards for each character. and that'll just kind of get you on your way. But again, that's something that I personally feel like if you're starting out in the game and you haven't really bought any packs, you're thinking about spending some money and making an investment. I don't think that's the first pack you buy. I think there's other options to go with first, and it's cool, but you'll eventually get there and you'll get your Luke. Just take the time. Territory battles. Okay, so got some information here with our newest game feature just around the corner, and CG Top Hat offering a sneak peek of things to come, including character kits exclusive to territory battles in his latest State of the Galaxy address. It's clear we're excited to share more about territory battles with you all. Soon, all of our holotable heroes will embark on an epic multi-phase battle, pitching the entire collection of characters and ships of every guild member against a progressively challenging living battlefield. Work collaboratively with your guild to bring over 7,500 units into battle. Participate in the new gameplay with platoon missions, which unlock special abilities such as ion cannon to turn the tide in your favor. Yeah, I mean, it sounds really interesting. I'm super excited about territory battles. What are your thoughts from the bit of information that we've gotten so far?
Well, I mean, they say 7,500 units, right? You got 50 people in the guild, 120 some odd characters and all the ships. Sounds like you really are gonna need everybody, everything. So I don't really know how to plan for the future. I mean, do I spread my resources around? Do I keep, like, currently, I just take a character all the way up to gear 11 and then move on to the next? I mean, that might not be, I might need to change my strategy. So
yeah, no, I agree.
I don't know, man. So many unknowns. I don't know.
Okay, so Count Dooku's bug fix is Count Dooku's Force Lightning ability will no longer stun / shock through Foresight. That's cool. And under General Vio's lead, Fulcrum Ahsoka will no longer gain offense up when she uses Meditate. Ewoks that assist under Phasma lead will now grant defense up to an allied Ewok. Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so and what's ahead? They're saying they're packing in some hot fixes or some patches. I guess they're going to do some bug fixes and things like that. But really exciting stuff. I mean, of course, Rebel Luke being added is really cool. In addition to this, they also did release the kit for Rebel Officer Leia Organa, and that's the next thing we're going to look at here. And it looks like Leia Organa is going to be a light side character, Rebel attacker, tenacious Rebel attacker that counters debuffs and is more effective against healthy targets. Okay, so this is her basic attack here, Hold Off. And it's going to be deal physical damage to target enemy and inflict buff immunity for 2 turns. And Leia gains 10% turn meter and an additional 10% turn meter if the target is an Empire. So she has a chance to get 20% turn meter on every attack, basically, right?
Yeah, and I like how they showed off Stormtrooper as the opposition here.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. She's one of those characters that has less abilities, though. I think she's only going to have 2 attacks, like on the screen. So let's see here. Her special is Rebel Barrage, which looks gonna an all-out attack or an AOE, and that's going to be deal physical damage 10 times to a random enemy targets. Enemies struck more than once suffer ability block for 1 turn. This ability's cooldown is reduced by 1.
This ability's a lot to digest, man. This is a new kind of mechanic.
I'm just trying to wrap my head around it here. So this ability's cooldown is reduced by 1 whenever Leia scores a critical hit or suffers a debuff. So basically, she's going to have a chance to hit them 10 times. So I mean, isn't that kind of like Sabine's ability, where like in her basic she can kind of hit you 6 times with her basic attack, or also like Ahsoka, where she could possibly hit you a bunch of times too?
Yeah, but this has got a cooldown of 16.
I know. I saw that. But it's gonna every time she gets debuffed or gets a critical hit, that's going to happen. So I don't know. Seems pretty cool. But I mean, obviously a 16-turn cooldown is pretty intense. Her leader ability is going to be Battlefront Command, and that's Rebel allies have plus 20% tenacity and 20% critical chance. Whenever a Rebel ally takes damage from an Empire enemy, they have a 50% chance to gain Foresight for 2 turns. The first time each turn a Rebel ally resists a detrimental effect or suffers a debuff, they gain 30% turn meter. Okay, so I guess that's only going to happen one time, the way I'm reading it. So, like, if in the beginning of the match, if you suffer a debuff or you resist a detrimental effect, you're going to get 30% turn meter. But that'll be the only time that happens throughout the entire encounter.
Well, yeah, but at the bottom, if you fully upgrade it says the first time each turn. So
it says the first time each turn. Okay, I got you.
The ability maps into it. Yeah, it's every turn.
Okay.
So it kind of progresses there. And upgrade 7.
So, yeah, every time you resist or get a detrimental effect, you get 30% turn meter. So with her leader, this also compounds with her basic attack, right? I mean, so, like, if she, on top of her getting, the turn meter from her basic, if then, she gets attacked, I mean, you're talking about a lot of turn meter manipulation here with her. So that's pretty cool. Her unique is Dauntless, which when fully upgraded reads, Leia has plus 10% offense and plus 40% tenacity. The first time each turn Leia resists a detrimental effect or suffers a debuff, she gains 15% turn meter and gains 35% offense, stacking until the end of her next turn. Okay, so again, more turn meter manipulation. So, I mean, she could really technically be going all the time, especially if you're facing a team that stacks debuffs on you. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. What are your thoughts about her kit?
I just, like it's so anti-Empire and just all this AoE and stacking. I mean, it just screams that she's going to be like the queen of this territory battle, right? Like, it sounds like her kit's made exclusively for just an arena, though. You do that 10 AoE move in arena, that's like suicide. You know what I mean? Like, Aiden, I don't know. I'm assuming you're going to use all these Hoth characters in this new one, right? So you might be facing tons of Empire ally or enemies, which all do debuff. So she could be, wonderful, in the future for that particular thing, for that particular game mode.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know. I think that it looks cool. I feel like the main thing is that, again, she has a lot of turn meter manipulation. With her basic attack, with her special, she has a chance to hit you a bunch of times and get critical hits. Does she inflict a debuff with her special again? I just off the top of my head, I don't remember.
No, she does buff immunity though on her basic.
Buff immunity, but doesn't she also do
on her
ability
basic attack? She does buff immunity, which is pretty cool.
Doesn't she also do ability block with her AoE?
Yes, she does. You are correct. Yeah, this ability, enemies struck more than once suffer ability block. So, in an arena match, you got 10 bombs that you're dropping. You hit one enemy twice, their ability block.
Yeah. I'm going to do some Galactic War here with Revolute as, with my Jedi team.
Yeah, I'm looking at these pictures here. Her basic, it doesn't appear to do near the amount of damage Princess Leia does. So, I mean, she's sticking Stormtrooper for a crit of 4,400.
Yeah.
So that's kind of underwhelming, but I guess it's pretty useful in a PvE type setting. I think she's going to be a PvE character, like a raid, possibly territory battle.
Yeah, I mean, I think we attain her through territory battle, so I think she's going to have a significant role to play there. Are you guys getting prepared for territory battles in any way? Like, what is Zai doing Maurice is also in one of our alliance guilds. So, what is Zai doing to get prepared for territory battles right now?
I mean, 'cause everything they're doing is rebel, 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 rebel. So obviously, we're trying to encourage everyone to power up their rebel squads, right? And but we're kind of suggesting to hoard everything. Like, obviously, Commander Luke comes out and everyone gets excited and they're going to buy it. But, just hoard gear, especially hoard Zetas and Omegas, because, just like when the new raid comes out, no one really knows. Because, think of some of these teams that came out during the tank raid. They're just out of nowhere. No one would have thought that would be any good, So, we're just going to wait it out as far as Zetas and stuff are concerned.
Yeah, no.
Something we're trying to work on is communication, because they're stressing how important it is that everybody participates. So we're really trying to get guys active on Discord and is what we use to communicate, and just participating in chat and just being active. We're sure, because we've been in cruise control for so long, right? As a guild, that people just kind of they get in, post their zeros, hit the raid, do their 600s real quick, and call it a day. It's because it's been kind of boring. But now we got to get we got to get it back. We got to get the flow back. So
I mean, everybody's kind of been on autopilot now for a while. So I mean, I think it's just been that way. I mean, it's not anybody's fault. The fact is that there just wasn't a lot of stuff going on for a while, and now all of a sudden we're being kind of bombarded here with a whole bunch of new stuff. I mean, we finally got Luke Skywalker in the game. Territory battles seem to finally be just coming around the corner here, and I mean, I don't know. I feel like the game's in a better place than it's been in a while. I'm super excited about it, and I'm definitely looking forward to the new game content. The most exciting part about all this stuff is when a new raid drops, kind of getting into Discord with your squad, your guild, and just figuring it out. And we haven't had anything like that in such a long time that you kind of lose some of that team camaraderie, that team spirit, and I think it'll be pretty cool to get back into that, especially since territory battles seems to be the beginning stages of some sort of competitive play between guilds. What do you think about that? I mean, I think at some point there'll be similar things like territory battles that just rack up points, and these points will be what determines the ranking of the guild and how many guild points that you have and such.
Well, that's I'm pretty heavily involved in the recruiting aspect for the community, and this is the hard thing we're trying to deal with, is how to prepare for the future without knowing anything yet. You know what I mean?
Right, of course.
I will say the new game mode really seems to encourage guilds to grow together, is from what I can tell, right? There's going to be no more murking, and there's not going to be no more two huge rosters carrying guilds through the tank or anything like that, which is the way the game's kind of supposed to be. All guilds grow together, and the guilds that are kind of lacking in roster strength, I think they'll really be able to keep up and make up with good coordination, planning, and stuff like that. So
absolutely,
I'm excited, man. It's gonna be exciting, and not only in game and also just in the whole community aspect of things. I think it's going to be real exciting. A big shot, jolt of excitement is what we need.
I think we have some trollers here in the chat. You may want to boot them out.
Oh yeah. Austin, Eric, have a good night.
Enjoy yourself. Peace out. And Jason Dills. No. Jason Dills. Jason Dills is actually just commenting on what Austin said. So no, he's cool.
Yes, I know. All right, there we go.
But yeah, so I don't know. I feel like territory battles is definitely I think it's going to come soon. I mean, how far away do you think we are from it right now? I mean, if you were to guess, I mean, how do you think it's coming in a week, a month? What do you think?
Man, I just part of me wants it to be a couple months away, so we're more prepared. But the other part of me wants to just go ahead and give it to us next week. Just drop it on us. Let the chaos just let it run rampant. And everyone freak out. And just get it over with. Let everything settle back down, so we can actually start making some progress and figure it out. What needs to be done for each phase, tier, whatever these things are. Probably, if I had to put a number, I'd say 3 to 5 weeks. I feel.
Yeah, I feel like it's somewhat similar to that. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're looking at probably about. If I had to guess, I'd say we're probably within 2 to 3 weeks, in my opinion. I think they're going to drop it on us real quick, and I'm kind of excited, but I about the prospect of the new game mode, the new game content, but I'm also kind of weary, like you said, about the way things are going to work with the guilds, because I think that there's going to be some shuffling, or at least some discussion about it, and you know how those things tend to go. I mean, sometimes they just they don't work out correctly, and you end up having a lot of drama for no reason. So hopefully most guilds can avoid that. If anything, you could have learned from the AAT stuff that over time, things, the dust settles, and you'll figure it out. You'll get the teams together, and the guild. Now, I mean, again, we're at a stage where a couple of characters can defeat the whole raid. Again, just like the Rancor, with the AAT is almost the same thing now. So I mean, over time, we'll figure out the tricks, and you'll figure out what characters you really need to defeat the content, and when you know that, you can more accurately kind of progress and plan ahead for the rest of your squad, and make a real plan to achieve that. We've had so many guilds become AAT heroic guilds, just from figuring out that the clones work in P4, and the droids worked originally in P2, and once you figure out those secrets or those squads, it just becomes a lot more, a lot easier to prepare and plan. But so they also had stated that we're going to be getting Captain Han Solo, I think, and Hermit Yoda. What do you think about Hermit Yoda? Okay, so basically, my thoughts are, I think that he's going to be a really cool character. I mean, I'm wondering, how we're going to attain him exactly, but we'll figure that out here soon enough. I mean, I definitely have been waiting for another version of Yoda, even though Grandmaster Yoda is definitely the coolest one. I think that if they're going to bring out another version, the older one, he could possibly even be more powerful, especially as an assist character. What do you think about Hermit Yoda, Maurice?
I mean, have they released any information on his kit?
No, nothing yet. It's just speculation at this point. It's kind of like asking you, it's kind of like just wondering what Santa's going to give you for Christmas.
I can't. Maybe just a pure support character. If he has a basic attack, maybe it does like 1,500 damage. I don't imagine him being very powerful damage-wise, but maybe he gives some sort of synergy, or kind of like an R2 with a bunch of passive boosts to the team for stats and stuff. Maybe for the Jedi, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Is my mic better now? Can you hear me a little better?
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully, hopefully he hopefully he lifts. Hopefully he could just lift a ship up from the background and just smash it on somebody's face. Like something cool like that. As an AOE attack. But we'll have to see. I don't think we've gotten the kit on the new Han either, so we'll have to wait and see on that. But also cool that you're going to be able to get new characters out of these things. So I'm sure there'll be some new form of currency, and with that will come probably some new form of shipments, and we'll get some cool stuff out of that too. I'm wondering what Gear 12 is going to be like too. How annoying do you think Gear 12 is going to be?
Yeah, I mean, pretty bad. I could see it. I think there's back in the day. I think they put some pieces on SWGOH and took them down. And if those are accurate, I have no idea if they are. But like it took like like pieces like stun cuffs, stun guns, plus like a tank rate piece, plus a gold piece, like stupid hard to put together just for one piece. If you were to just buy all the components to it out of the shipments, I could see them costing $50 to $100, probably one piece. So it's going to be a grind. So choose super wisely who you want to take up.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope it's not like that. Oh my goodness, I just got dominated.
Yeah, I'm trying to look.
I just got dominated in Galactic.
I'll look to see if there's anything on the.
I just got dominated.
I will say Galactic War.
On Note 6.
My Note 11 is no longer broken thanks to Luke, man. I guess people just slap 2 and 3 Zetas on Luke right away, and it's I guess it's raised the bar to getting a free Note 11 and 12 again.
My Note 6 just smacked me in the face.
Yeah, my Galactic War was super tough last night. I got your guildmate Skycrack on my Note 11. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, really? You got Sky?
Yeah, he had 139 secondary speed in his old bin. That was a lot of fun, let me tell you.
Really? That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, 2 full teams to take that down.
Yeah, when you have mods like that, I mean, it's just not fair. I mean, it's just you're literally like you can run circles around people with your mob enforcer. You could have people. You could get characters up to like 139, 150 speed, faster than they actually are. I mean, that's nuts. But also, I mean. He's got some really geared up tunes. So I mean, those characters, his team becomes like a super high power level, and that's why you get him as a character in Galactic War. Those team power levels are getting real high now. I'm seeing some people. I saw somebody in my arena shard that's over 100K.
Yeah, that's you start talking about 3 Zetas on Luke, 2 on R2. And then, whoever else you want to use. If Nihilus, you probably got a Zeta on him. Thrawn, same. It's going to add up.
Zetas
100K is going to be.
Zetas actually give you a lot of power, like number wise.
Yeah.
Now I don't know. I don't think the number actually makes a difference right now. I don't think it's like I think you could be just as effective based upon your kit. As with a lower number. But one day, or maybe with the addition of these territory battles, those power numbers are actually going to mean something. So we'll have to see what happens. So as far as the Revolute event is concerned, did you get Luke right away, or were you short on some shards for any of the characters?
Well, I guess maybe 2-3 weeks ago they made a post in the forums. I forget the exact wording of it. It was like old friends rejoin. I did need Old Ben. I took Old Ben all the way up, but when they released that post, I wasn't really working on anything in particular at the time, so I started him and I finished him hours before the event started. So the event itself was super easy.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't difficult at all.
It was auto sauce.
Like if you had the characters, I would imagine Gear 8 is plenty. I mean, granted mine were a little higher, like the Leia and the Stormtrooper Han, but I think if you got Gear 7, Gear 8 on them, you should be able to breeze right through it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So if any of you guys are out there trying to get in there, don't worry about the gear, just get the shards. The gear, not that big of an issue. This is probably the easiest, I think, this and the Palpatine event, I think, are the easiest ones of all the legendary type events.
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a little while before the event comes back again. So, I think it's also interesting that they decided to go with a full 7-star unlock with this character. That they decided not to, have it be an unlockable character at 5 stars like all the other legendary events. But I also kind of like that because it kind of forces you to. To have to work to it or to farm to achieve the character, which is really, I think, their main objective here. I mean, I don't think they're trying to make the challenge very difficult. I mean, otherwise they could. I think the challenge is meant to be, pretty simple, to get through. They want everybody to get Commander Luke. The real achievement is obtaining all the shards. So that's really what they're looking at, and. Getting some of these characters, Old Ben, Stormtrooper Han, Leia, Luke. I mean, to 7 stars is actually relatively simple in most cases. So, if it's somebody that you don't get this turnaround, like let's say you don't get Luke this time around, it's definitely somebody that you'll be able to get pretty easily next time he comes. So I just try to get prepared for that.
And these characters after the rework are really, really good. Like even Farm Boy Luke, he's not going to be very good in arena, but I could see you wait 2-3 weeks, and he's going to come out with some crazy raid comp. Where Farm Boy Luke's pumping out 100K on his basic. Just with all the stacking crit damage.
Yeah, absolutely.
So all these characters are very, very good now. Unlike the Thrawn event where you got to use the Phoenix, and I mean, besides Ezra, the Phoenix really aren't that good. So they kind of hooked us up in that department, I'll say.
Yeah, they definitely did. I mean, Ezra is very good, and they kind of duped us with the rest of the characters. I think I'm not a big fan of really anybody else except for Sabine. I think you're a huge proponent, or I'm sorry, a huge fan of Chopper. So I mean, I think he could be a viable character too. But as far as the rest of
Chopper's pure, that's just purely temporary. If the meta changes, he's out. Like Ezra's got some lasting power. He'll be around for ages as a meta character.
I think Sabine has some interesting things to look at too, and but the thing is, or Zeb too. But Kanan, Hera, kind of disappointing, to tell you the truth. But yeah, I mean, I definitely want to get them finished though, because their ships, the Ghost and the Phantom, are really good. How far are you on collecting the shards for the Phantom and the Ghost?
The Phantom's the one on the right side of the story, yeah?
Yes.
That one drops for me every single day. I'm almost done with that ship. It's crazy. Like I swear, every single refresh is right there. And the Ghost, I think, close to 6-star. Yeah. I like the ships. It'd be cool to run an all Rebel team. I don't know how good it'd do in the arena, but again, we see these territory battles being real Rebel based. So maybe you need all the Rebel ships. I'm not really sure. So, I mean, if I need them, I'd like to have them. So,
I think those ships are some of the better ships. I actually really want to get them completely finished, but they're I'm at 6-star with the Ghost, and I'm at 6-star with the Phantom. Pretty close on being done with the Ghost. I think I'm 70 of 100 or something like that. But I'm also getting there with the Gauntlet Starfighter, and that seems like a really cool ship too. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's just I've got Darth Saxon done, but now I got to go back and do the Super Commando farm with no help from the shard shop because they yanked that out from underneath us real quick. And I'm dreading that. That's 3 months to finish him out of the Cantina shipment or the Cantina farms. I mean, I'll have the ship done probably by the time I have the Super Commando done, gear and stuff. That's
literally what I do every day. I just go right into ship battles. I enter the battle, and then I just exit the battle.
Yeah, pretty sure Panda's heckling you. Yeah, there he is. 14 minutes to do your dailies.
Thanks for the tip.
You'll notice he's being clever using the Z instead of an S.
Yeah.
In the minutes.
But that's it with the dailies. So now we just got to finish Galactic War.
Oh, speaking of which, I got to do mine.
So, yeah, we got the last 3 nodes of Galactic War here. Yeah, guys, get your questions in now. In a few minutes, we're going to start the Q&A segment of the live show. But get your questions in now. So if you want to have it asked on the live show, Maurice will go over any of your questions that are typed in the chat later on during the Q&A section. Okay, so let me get this node done here. And then once I'm done with my Galactic War, we'll do the meta report, and then we'll get into the Q&A. So, what do you think about the? Sorry, hold on a second. What do you think about the Rebels right now? I mean, do you think that the addition of the addition of Commander Luke Skywalker makes them like the #1 faction in the game, or do you think Empire's still going to hold it down for right now?
I mean, Thrawn will hold it down. Nihilus will hold it down. But then I think it's just, I mean, Baze and Chirrut were slowly kind of drifting off, falling out of the meta report, just slipping, and now you bring Commander Luke back. And, if somebody's already got speed down, was he stuns them or ability blocks, it's just going to make Baze even better, because Baze is going to be countering, putting speed down everybody. Commander Luke's going to, do his basic and just stack all these debuffs. It's just, we're right back into the Baze, Chirrut, Commander Luke meta,
I think Commander Luke will have his place. I think kind of similar to what we were talking about before the show, about the Zetas making a big difference. I think over time, as people get those Zetas equipped, he'll become a much larger force to deal with. I just think, there weren't a ton of people that were sitting there with 60 Zetas ready to, Zeta Rebel Luke Skywalker. I was able to get him to Gear 11 right away, but I didn't have the Zetas stored for him, so that's something I'm going to have to, work on here a little bit over time.
Yeah, the Empire, though, is kind of a more in-game arena team. Like, you've been playing since launch, so you have Krennic, you have Nihilus, you have Shore Trooper, you have Death Trooper. These characters are not easy to get for a new player, so as a new player, it's going to be rebels across the board,
Mm-hmm.
Even without Commander Luke. I mean, they're just, they got too many, there's too many rebels, I guess, too many options. I run Rebels, but I do feel kind of bad for the dark side players, because they keep getting teased. Like when Vader got a Zeta, he was like the meta for 1 month, and then they came out, with Baze and Chirrut, and that just slaughtered that. Like Thrawn's had his 1 month here to shine, and now he's out. Maul got his time in the sun. He had 2-3 months there at the top, but even that's faded out.
Maul definitely dominated.
A lot of guys in the chat here are saying that Zal is a good counter to Commander Luke, I guess, for the days. I guess I'm not really sure. I've used Commander Luke for 1 day. I have no idea, honestly, what counters him the best yet, or how to even use him efficiently yet.
Yeah, that stuff takes a little time. I mean, you'll figure it out over time. But I think Commander Luke so far seems to work well with Chirrut, Baze, and R2-D2. And I've been using General Kenobi as the 5th. But seems like a good squad. I'm wondering really, and really that's the main thing, is going to be figuring out, what comp is really best for him. And when you figure that out, that'll tell you, what the meta can be like as far as the Luke Skywalker meta is concerned. I don't know. I feel like he's going to have, a lot more viability in game modes coming up, like territory battles. I think he'll have a role to play. And I also think he'll have a role to play in arena for sure. But I just think it's going to be more. I mean, I'm hearing you're saying that people are soloing Rancor raids with this guy.
Guy Mike killed Raider's son did it today. Luke Skywalker by himself sold the whole raid. Can't auto it, but just can sold the whole raid with just one character. I don't. Somebody put out a video. I don't want to. I got way too many windows open, so there was a video put out. I think it was Wild Grunts.
Okay. Yeah, Wild Grunt makes
solo
cool videos.
P1 with. Yeah, solo P1 with Luke, just very similar to how you did it with Kylo back in the day, but just way more, time efficient.
Absolutely.
He's gross. He's such a good raid character.
It seems like it. You think it's solo?
I definitely think he's top 3 character in the game instantly.
You said
maybe top 5 for sure.
You said you could solo P1 with him in the AAT?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, same sort of strategy. I just kind of skimmed through the video when we were warming up for the show here, and you go in there, beat him down, get 500K. He got 520,000 in just one run before he retreated. That's a great score for a full Jedi team. That's crazy.
Ghost is, I think, sending you a message here on my screen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Tell me you forgot the apostrophe after Ol.
Yeah, I think he screwed up. Let's see here. Do I have any events to kill? That's all done. Okay, so really we can go into the meta report here, so let's do that. Alright, now, first and foremost, we're going to take a look at the top 10 leaders at rank 1. And it looks like Commander Luke has already made his way up the chain here, and he's right behind Grand Admiral Thrawn, already surpassing Zeta lead. What do you think about that?
I mean, I think that's insane. He's been out for 2 days.
That's really fast.
Well, he's not the toughest. I mean, in today's game, he's not very difficult to gear. Like, yes, he takes lots of stun cuffs. Yes, he takes 5 Carbonis. But you look at Kenobi, you look at Thrawn. I mean, he's really not that difficult. Compared to those two, I think.
Absolutely.
So I guess people just had tons of gear stored up or just went nuts and finished them all the way up. And I personally blew my entire territory battle stash on him to finish him. But as you touched on, I think he's required for the new game mode. Yes or no?
I'm not sure. I know. I feel like he has to be, right. I mean, they wouldn't coincide this with that like that for no reason. Obviously, Rex still taking the largest piece of the pie here. I don't think Rex is going anywhere. But Wedge Antilles and Qui-Gon Jinn holding it down right behind him, with Maul slowly getting caught up by Grand Admiral Thrawn. I think Grand Admiral Thrawn will surpass Maul here at some point. And I think Commander Luke's going to surpass all of them here pretty soon, with the exception of Rex. I think he's going to surpass, at least Darth Maul, getting right behind Qui-Gon Jinn here. And then right behind him you have Zeta lead, with General Kenobi following him. Grand Moff Tarkin makes his way right behind General Kenobi. What do you think about that?
That's some of that nuking propaganda.
Grand Moff Tarkin. And then Darth Nihilus just holding on by a sliver there at the end. So that pretty much rounds out the top 10 leaders at rank 1. Interesting to see Commander Luke Skywalker making such a huge spike into the arena so fast.
2 days. 2 days, man. I've never seen that. That's uncanny.
That's really fast. All right, so let's go into the top 10 squad members at rank 1. Maurice, go ahead, take it away. What do you think?
Okay. Well, if I had to guess while it loads here, we're going to go Nihilus number 1. Is that correct?
You're absolutely correct.
Thrawn. Hold on, I got it now. Okay. Nihilus is number 1, Kenobi number 2. There goes R2, creeping up every week. He's been creeping up. Same with Thrawn. That's just a case of, I guess, people finally getting them geared. Rex taking a little step back. Baze, Chirrut, they'll be back. You just wait until more people get Commander Luke. Baze and Chirrut just kind of march their way back up to the top. Then Shore Trooper, Kylo, and Death Trooper all kind of hanging out where they've been, just under 500 apiece. Death Trooper slowly climbing each week, I guess. I don't personally have him finished, but I guess he just pairs really well with Thrawn.
I think more people.
He's a great character.
He's also a character that is going to take a little time to form. I think more and more people are getting the 7-star Death Troopers, so you're going to continue to see his numbers spike because he just does a lot of things. I mean, besides being a great character to have a synergy with Thrawn and Director Krennic if you have him. He's also got the Trooper synergy, but he increases cooldowns. He dispels pretty much everything. He also he has an AOE dispel. He also inflicts Death Mark, which is a really cool debuff. It's pretty much like Expose on steroids, and he dazes with his basic, and he attacks twice when he's hitting a rebel, a rebel attack or a rebel opponent. So. He's got a lot of cool things to think about, especially since a lot of people are using Rebels right now. And with the addition of Commander Luke, I think his usage is going to only increase even more to counterattack the Rebels. So you'll see a lot more of that. The cooldown increase is the coolest thing for me. I like that. From him and Nihilus, the only two characters in the game that do that, and I think that's really what makes him unique.
Well, that's a good point. For those of you that aren't really into the Rebels, can't get Commander Luke, you might want to invest in Death Trooper because he is kind of the counter to Base Ventura. With the days, they won't counter. He can dispel. He's a real good, very, very good character to have. If you're not going to get if you can't get Commander Luke, I would strongly consider doing Death Trooper to kind of survive in your arena.
Yeah, you do not need to have Krennic for him to be most effective. Although having him and Krennic together with that Zeta does help out a lot. I did Zeta my Death Trooper, and it makes that team a lot more effective for sure. Death Mark is a lot of fun, yes. All right, so let's go back to the game here, and let's get started with the Q&A segment here. Do you have any questions lined up for us, Maurice?
Hey, while you're in SWGOH, all right, click your name up there and click on profile. This kind of goes to one of our questions.
Those are stills. I'm not actually on SWGOH.
Oh, okay. Well, if you pull up SWGOH, right, and you guys click on your profile and squads, it's going to show you all your goodies, and then you're going to scroll all the way down. There's a brand new section right underneath your chart that says Arena Rank over the last 30 days. It now has a Characters of Interest section, right? It's got Commander Luke in there. It has Hoth Rebel Soldier, and it has Hoth Rebel Scout. Those are the only three, quote, characters of interest on SWGOH, right?
I saw that, and I was wondering what that means.
Yeah, and I guess Taserface here is asking, what gear level would you take Hoth Scout and Soldier to?
Well, that's an interesting question. I personally think you're going to need him to be at least gear 10. But with the increase in gear level coming, how long that's going to last, I don't know. You may actually need to have characters at gear 11 to even make them worthy at some point here. So I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I would agree with you. Like, if this new game mode is, we got gear 12 coming, right? So if this new game mode is built for gear 12, you're going to need them at least gear 10. It's like you cannot use a gear 8 character in the tank raid. Gear 9 is even pushing it.
Yeah,
in most cases. So
I agree.
I think Hoth Rebel, I don't know exactly what it means with these characters of interest, but I'm assuming it might go with the new mode, right? So if you're going to do one, Scout's probably the one you're going to want to take all the way up. Because Soldier, he is a tank, and he's got lots of defense up and like health regen type of capabilities. So you might be able to get by with him at 10. But I would probably take Scout to 11.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And he actually pairs. He pairs pretty well with the Commander Luke. He's not meta by any chance, by any means. But I was running some pretty cool stuff with Hoth Rebel Scout, Pathfinder, and Commander Luke. There's lots of turn meter because they all get counter and they're giving turn meter to the whole team. It's pretty cool. He's not a bad character. He's kind of boring and kind of dated, but he's usable.
Absolutely.
In the game. Soldier sucks.
Yeah,
Soldier's not a good character, but
Soldier sucks. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right. So next question. All right. Pedro Fandino asks, and a lot of people have actually asked this, what are the best mods for Commander Luke Skywalker?
Best mods for Commander Luke Skywalker. Well, I'm getting housed here again. This is not good. Oh, defeated. Okay, I think the best mods for Luke Skywalker are going to be... Well, my set I went with was for him to have...
However you have him modded in that arena battle, don't mod him like that.
yeah. Well, whatever I did, basically, just don't do that. Yeah, no, he's... let's see. I have him modded for crit damage, I believe, or no, offense and health. So, I mean, obviously trying to get him as fast as possible. I wanted him to hit harder, so I just kind of gave him offense and health because I believe he regenerates or he heals himself in some way as well, right? I mean, well, you have also Baze and Chirrut on that squad, and R2D2 gives an added heal factor also. So I just wanted to add that health there. But ideally, I would say you probably want to roll with him. I don't know. I would go with. You see, you could do two different things. He has a defensive side to him too, which increases his tenacity. So if you were to also give him tenacity sets, like let's say all the way through, he might actually be like OP tenacity. I mean, because the additional tenacity he gets from his defensive mode and his unique, I think, just gonna, basically make, let's say, if you already have an additional 100 tenacity on him, really interesting. But I don't know. I mean, I would personally, in my opinion, if it were me, I would go with with either health sets or either an offense set to jack up his offense. Because again, I feel like the day of speed is kind of. I mean, speed is always super important. Okay, you want to be the fastest out there, but if you're not going to be the fastest out there, be the hardest hitting one out there. You know what I'm saying? Do the most damage, because that also gets the match done faster. That's just my opinion. And health, will give you a little bit more longevity. So that's why I went with that. But, we'll have to see here, because based upon the squad that you put him in, is really going to determine what the best mods are for him. So when I pick like a final squad for him, then I think I'll probably have a better idea of what mods would be best for him. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, you basically touched on it. It all depends if you want to use that call to action ability. You don't need any crit chance because he's getting 50% crit chance. So if you put a crit chance set on him, it might be kind of a waste, right? So you get 50% crit damage, 50% crit chance, 50% accuracy. So offense would be a decent choice. Crit damage is going to. I use crit damage, and I think I'm actually using a health set as well on mine, just because. But if you want to use that defense, if you don't want to use the call to action and keep him like a defensive based character, he gets 50% counter chance, 50% defense, or excuse me, board is 50% defense and 100% tenacity. Case where you could actually throw in some of those defensive mods, like a defensive set or two, might benefit him kind of, especially when he gets to gear 12. He'll have more health, more protection, so the defense, the armor and stuff might actually start making a difference because he can actually, the damage he will actually turn into like an extra hit or two that he can survive. So it's, I think defense mods are going to start playing a bigger role in the game than they currently are. So that's an option. And like I said earlier, I'm still testing him. I'd hate to tell you a way to do it and then just me be way wrong because I've only used him for like 6 hours myself, There's going to be tons of stuff out on him in the next 2 weeks. There's so many content producers. They're all going to have great advice on, how to use him the best way.
Well, as a matter of fact, I'm also going to be putting out a Rebel Luke, a Commander Luke specific video tomorrow as well. What's the next question?
Hold on, I'm trying to catch up here in the chat, make sure I didn't miss it. Okay. Next question comes from Jason Dills. Do you guys think characters in the future will unlock at 7 stars? I guess he means maybe the next legendary character they decide to do. Do you see this 7-star trend continuing, or they go back to the 5, 6, and 7-star?
I think it'll continue. At least for
this Gear 12, you can only put it on 7-star characters, right? So,
yep.
I mean, these days of the 3, 4-star bases, Churds, Nihilus, those characters aren't going to be near as good as they are today.
No. No, and the characters with Zetas are going to start to surpass the characters without them, with the exception of a few that are lingering, kind of like Baze and Chirrut and General Kenobi, really. But I think they'll be they'll continue to do reworks, and whenever they release these characters, I think especially now that that they're adding the caveat that you have to have a 7-star character to make them Gear 12, I think they're going to try to enforce the necessity to have these 7-star characters to really do a lot of things going forward. I mean, really, because for a long time now, I mean, people have been able to use, let's say, a 3-star Nihilus or a 4-star Shore Trooper, or 3-star Baze Malbus, and still be effective in arena. So what's really going to tip the iceberg there, or make it more difficult for those people, is that addition of Gear 12. So for those people that are able to get to Gear 12 because they have the characters at 7-star, I think that extra gear level is going to give them a significant advantage, and you'll be seeing all Gear 12 characters at rank 1 sooner rather than later.
Chopsticks on your screen there. Just promoted Greedo to 8-star.
I saw that.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Well, we got a question from our alliance mate Cam6578.
Cam, what's going on, Cam?
Yeah. What could make ships better? Is this question.
Something else to do with them would make them better. I mean, it's really just a matter of boredom, because you're only doing arena with the ships, and the fact is that there's really not much there other than facing these people in your shard. And now that everybody has all these 7-star ships, I mean, at first, if you were one of the people that invested a little bit in ships, or let's say you had kind of put your let's say a focus on ships versus farming character shards and things like that out of the shipments, then you may have had an initial burst that gave you an advantage. But now everybody kind of has 7-star ships, and there's so many people that have 7-star TIE Advance, 7-star 7-star Slave 1, Poe Dameron, all these good ships. So the competition has become a lot more stiff. So the thing is that holding a spot becomes more difficult, kind of like it is in regular arena right now. So if you have a ship, you could be sitting at rank 1, and then you could turn off your game, come back a couple hours later, you'd be sitting at rank 50, just because that's how ships are, and that's that becomes annoying. All right, let's get back in here and do this up. What's the next question?
We got a bunch of them. Just trying to gather them up here. Okay, next question is, Zerebrus. Zerebrus. I butchered that. Apologies.
Zerebrus.
What would be a good counter team against Commander Luke teams?
A good counter team against Commander Luke teams. Rex.
I don't know. If you got that Zeta on Commander Luke, if Rex pops that nasty up and then everything's getting resisted because of it, your team's gonna. Commander Luke team's gonna go nuts with all the turn meter.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Well, I have to give some thought to that.
This Commander Luke might be the end of Tenacity Up. We'll see. Tenacity Up is going to be. It might do more harm than good moving forward, depending on who puts that Zeta on his leadership.
I still think
we'll see. I'm not sure exactly.
I still think like General Kenobi led teams and some of these Zader teams, the people that have jacked up their Zader and then put like, let's say, Sith Assassin on their team to make Vader even faster. Like some of those teams are really good too. So
that would be a good one. That'd be a cool one. Assassin.
Well, what you do is you just get your Sith Assassin to jack up the speed, and now all of a sudden your Zader team is fast too, just like your just as fast as your Sith team. So it's something to think about. I don't know.
We touched on it earlier. Death Trooper too. I think Death Trooper is a good tool to have in your kit to counter the rebels.
Grand Admiral Thrawn. The Empire will be
sure.
definitely challenging. But we'll have to see. Let's see how many Gar Saxon shards we get today.
What are you doing? One refresh? How many refreshes are you doing?
I did 3 refreshes. Okay, 6 shards on that pull, and then I have 6 more battles, and 3 shards
8.
on that one.
You'll get 8 shards.
So I got 9 shards. So that's not bad. He's 32 of 85. But all right, what's the next question?
All right, let's see. We've got.
That sounded really enticing. What was that? You just sit on a whoopee cushion or something?
Cage Drew asks, "Do you feel?" I'm trying to make sure I don't butcher these questions. Do you feel that recent light side characters are getting more and more resistant to debuffs, slightly unviable?
Can you repeat the question?
Do you feel that the recent light side characters are getting more and more resistant to debuffs?
Yes.
Which would make the dark side less viable in Arena.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Rolo's kit. Rolo, Rebel Officer Leia Organa. Her kit is basically all anti-debuff, and obviously Luke's. I think that trend will continue. And if you're talking about anti-empire, I think obviously that people are going to also be starting to farm these Hoth Soldier and Hoth Scout characters. Those guys are pretty much based on anti-empire. So I think it'll be interesting. But
yeah,
I don't know.
I'd be real surprised if like that Hoth Han and maybe even Herbert Yoda have some sort of anti-empire dark side type synergy,
Well, they have specific ability, like Hoth Rebel Scout. I think he does more damage if it's an Empire character, and I think he gets more turn meter. It's something like that. But either way, it's all like specifically against Empire, and that trend's definitely going to continue because they're gonna try to basically. I think they're going to continue to try to, especially. I mean, this territory battles thing is basically going to be essentially, Empire versus, the Hoth Rebels, right? So.
Scout gains 45% turn meter whenever an Empire enemy is defeated, and half that amount whenever a non-Empire enemy is defeated. So that could come in pretty handy if we're facing nothing but Empire characters. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
E-type of long-term battle. I mean, he could be going a lot. So he's somebody to keep an eye on for sure. At least collect the shards for. If you don't have him 7-star, I'd at least start gathering shards for him and just kind of see the impact he plays.
Yeah, I think he'll be. I'm a big fan of Hoth Rebel Scout. Not a big fan of Hoth Rebel Soldier, but Hoth Rebel Scout has a really cool kit, and he originally was one of the main characters that I wanted to run in the arena. Like I ran him with Princess Leia and Akbar back in the day, and that was a really good team.
Yes. Way back in the day, pre-protection, pre-mods, Hoth Rebel Scout was a really, really good character. Really good. I used him a good bit.
What do you think? When do you think we see a day where Akbar's the bee's knees again?
He needs a little something. The speed is just not enough anymore,
Yeah, no, I agree.
But we'll see, man. Like, I don't know if you could somehow manipulate the turn order with Commander Luke, Leia, R2, Fulcrum Ahsoka. Like, if you could somehow manipulate it to where Akbar went right before Ahsoka and he popped that double whammy move, and Ahsoka could steal the buffs and immediately whirlwind. That'd be pretty cool. It'd be terrible on defense, but it'd be pretty effective on offense.
You see, I think he actually has a spot because again, now he gives 30 speed to Luke Skywalker. He also jacks up Fulcrum speed. Tactical Genius is a sick ability. And with Rebel Luke pretty much getting a chance to go twice already alone, with Tactical Genius, he could have something interesting there. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Oh yeah, because yeah, no, that's a good point. He could do the what is it? The
he could basically go 3 times.
Call to Arms, that was called.
He could basically go 3 times.
Yeah, Call to Arms gives him. Yeah, because he could hit somebody, activate Kenobi. The opposing Kenobi would activate his taunt, and then he could immediately use his Dispel move, dispel Kenobi's taunt, and put that buff immunity on it.
Right.
So that would be super cool. That's actually, I'm gonna try that out. I'm gonna try that out tomorrow.
I was thinking the same thing. Tactical Genius is a really cool ability that's kind of been underappreciated. I think it could have some way, especially with the speed increase. It's something to think about.
I'll be that guy tomorrow with Akbar as my lead. I'll be him. Let's see. Next, it was a good one here. Jason Dills, got a question from him. Are we going to get a way to get Zetas more easily? Do you foresee any way of them including extra ways for us to get Zetas?
Of course. Just like purple mats were hard to get a long time ago, and then Omega mats, Zeta mats will eventually be easier to obtain, and there'll be some other kind of mat. There'll be a beta mat.
Yeah, and possibly, this is pure speculation, but maybe how we have those Omega battles, I think it's every other weekend, right?
Yeah.
Maybe on the other weekends we start getting like Zeta battles. Even just one Zeta here, one Zeta there. Maybe game mode is supposed to have like a new shipment area.
Well,
maybe there's Zetas in there. That'd be cool.
You just got to think common sense here, right? They're adding so many Zeta abilities, right? Rebel Luke Commander Luke has 3 Zetas. R2D2 has 2. Now all these reworked characters have Zetas also. They're absolutely not going to keep adding all these Zeta abilities to everybody if they aren't eventually going to make it more plausible for us to get them, because for people that want to have a Zeta collection, they're going to find a way to let you buy that. At some point, and they'll have battles just like they did with Omegas, like Maurice is saying, and then eventually they'll probably get incorporated into some sort of additional challenge, or let's say events that we do, kind of like how we get purple mats now for doing Cantina battles. They'll drop somewhere like that too.
All right, Eric Estrella. Question from him: with Old Ben's rework, would he be a perfect fit with a wedge lead with Biggs and Chase?
Yes.
Probably. But I still think I think Kenobi would be a little better.
Do I think this better team you could put out there? Absolutely. But
well, Old Ben would work. You're gonna have to put some speed on him though. He's slow. Oh man, he's slow.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like Ghost has increased Hoth Rebel Soldier to gear 11 here.
Yeah,
he did that live
trying to show off now.
He did that live for us.
Yeah. Oh man.
I'm crying for all the wasted gear.
All right, keyboard asks.
Sure.
What gear level will Commander Luke need to be for territory battles?
Gear 11. Yeah, I think the answer is gear 11 all the way around. Listen, do I think you'll be able to get by with gear 10 character here and there? Sure, but I think gear 11 is going to be the answer for all this upcoming content. I mean, they didn't take it easy on us for AAT when that came out. They made it more difficult. It was actually downright impossible for some guilds to complete at first. So I think that similar to that, they're going to make this increase that comes with not a level cap this time, but a gear level increase, more challenging, so that you're going to have gear 12 characters eventually to get the maximum amount of rewards. Otherwise, there'd be no reason for them financially to add a gear level 12.
You know, we talk about Hot Thermal Soldier and Hot Thermal Scout, and those are more than likely going to be exclusive for like one area of the game. But Luke is going to be used in all areas of the game. We talk about how he solos the Rancor. He's great in the tank. You know, he's fantastic in arena. Like, you're going to want to take him as high as possible. I think he should be one of the first characters you probably consider taking to Gear 12, just for his all-around uses in the game. You know.
Absolutely.
So as high as you can. Every piece that you can put on him, I would say put on him.
Yeah, I agree.
Jason Dills asks another question. Do you guys think we're going to get another Darth Vader?
Yes. I think we could. There's two ways that could happen. We could get an early version of Vader, like when he was Anakin on the dark side, like, you know, kind of like if any of you guys played the game on Xbox or PlayStation for Revenge of the Sith, you were able to use the dark side Anakin Skywalker in that game, and I think there'll be something like that, where like he was just first dubbed Darth Vader, or they could have some sort of a like a version of Darth Vader where like his maybe his mask is off, or he's maybe just looks a little bit different. They could also make him just look a little bit different and make him, like, let's say the next version, like let's say this version of Vader that we have now is the New Hope version, and then we could have like we could have like Return of the Jedi Darth Vader, and his attacks could be more lightsaber based. Who knows?
All right.
I saw somebody asking about Chewbacca and when the Clone Wars tag is going to come off. I don't know. I feel like that's one that's been in the hopper for a long time, right? I mean, that's something we've seen.
Well,
Chewbacca.
I don't think they would. I think they would just make a new Chewbacca. Yeah, that's more than likely what would happen, right? We would just have two Chewbaccas. And
oh yeah,
I don't think they'd remove the tag.
They'll look almost exactly the same.
Necessarily. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think they'll look almost exactly the same. I just think the abilities will be completely different. I think the new Chewbacca would be more offense-based or more attack-based than the Chewbacca we have in the game right now. So I think it'll be like, if you want to use a Chewbacca that's a taunting tank and, really more of a defensive character, you'll have that option. And then kind of like what they're doing with Leia, making her more of an attacker now. They're going to do that with him too. So that's just my opinion.
All right. Ghosts is in here asking, with the new game mode, do you see any additional uses for allied points?
Sure. I mean, listen, I have 1 million right now, and I'm not using them, and that's because I do believe that at some point we're going to be seeing some sort of need for or some sort of use of allied points other than what we have right now, and I don't know. I mean, do I know what that'll be? No. But it doesn't have to just be tournaments. I mean, they can use allied points to use. You could convert allied points for currency. Who knows? Maybe one day they bring back the option to sell. Yes, for those of you that play the game and didn't play in the beginning, some of the newer players, you used to be able to actually sell your inventory items. So you used to be able to sell your gear, and they had these things called what were they called, man? The mining droids, remember? Or they were like the gold where you had to like sell them to get credits at first. Do you remember that? When you used to do a
I'm
challenge,
sorry, ask again. I'm sitting here.
when you used to do a challenge for credits back in the day, they didn't give you the credits; they gave you this gold, and you could sell that gold and get credits for it.
Well, no, it's they gave you those little droids, like basically what you buy, right? That they were like, yeah, like little droids, and they could, like, when you open them, they have a chance of being, you know, X amount of credits. And
no, remember, it used to be called droid mining. They even had a challenge that was available every day.
Oh, no, yes. God, that was a long time ago. Wow.
Yeah. They even had a challenge that
I remember those.
You could actually go in every day, and you were able to use 50 energy, and it would unlock for a full hour. You could do as many battles as you wanted.
Yeah, and rack up like a whopping 40,000 credits.
It was you could get like 400 500k credits if you didn't want to spend too much energy, but you had to use energy to do it. And I think it was like 50 or 60 energy per battle too. So like for like a full refresh of energy, you could get like 200k credits. So basically, for like 100 crystals, you get like 200k credits. But this is like when there was no credit heist, and 200k credits was like gold. Like, I mean, it really, like, you know, those credits were really hard to come by. If you're
because the level cap was like 60. We could take our guys to like gear 7. you know,
right.
Like we could get them to purple gear.
Exactly.
Or no, we couldn't even. I don't think we could even get them to purple gear yet. Right? There was no protection.
Exactly.
I don't even think. God, that was so long ago. Wow.
It's interesting though. Yep. All right, let's go. Let's get the last question going here, because we got to call it a stream here. We're getting late.
Okay. Dogbro 1000 asks, if I don't have Chase, what is a good team for Commander Luke Skywalker lead?
If you don't have Chase, well, I mean, there's other options like Raid Han is a great option. I think Leia right now would be a great option. Old Ben. You could use General Kenobi. So if you don't have Chase, you know, I'd think maybe like a like, for example, you know, kind of like a Luke lead with Leia, Han, Old Ben, and you know, General Kenobi would be pretty good. R2D2, you know, you could throw in there too instead of Leia maybe. So, you know, maybe like a Luke lead with Leia. Luke lead with Old Ben, Kenobi, you know, a Raid Han or the original Han Solo, and R2D2. I think that would be a good team too.
Yeah, I think Leia's really good. Leia, Wiggs are options. If you don't have, I'm assuming you might not have Kenobi. So. Much
like anything else. Much like anything else, I mean, you'll be able to win with that team on offense, but it's not going to hold on defense in any way. You know.
Yeah, Scarab Pathfinder is not a bad option. He's extremely difficult to gear, but you will need him for his ship at some point. Maybe way down the road, but maybe that's somebody to consider as well. He's an easy farm. It's just hard gear. And then you need Biston for the ship as well. So, but
you know, I've been eternally disappointed with Scarab Pathfinder. It's like I when he came out, I mean, I was super excited. I looked at his kit, and you know, Sky had gotten him to like Gear 11 3-star, like when that was all you could get. Because remember, like they didn't give us the ability to get his shards for like months after they made him the daily login character. When I finally was able to get him to 7-star and gear him up, I was always a big fan of the AOE offense down, but I feel like, you know, with all the cool newer debuffs that had come out at that point, offense down just kind of lost its speciality. You know, it was back in the day when the game first came out. If you got stuck with offense down by Old Ben, it was a real problem. Like, I mean, you were doing no damage for like 2 turns. You know what I'm saying, with everybody. You know what I mean, so it was a big deal, and I thought that adding the fact that he also, you know, can revive, you know, he taunts and he does damage with that attack. I thought he'd be really great, but you know, again, I was just sad to see that he's you know, a disappointing character, and hopefully they do some sort of rework for him too, because again, he has a cool kit. It's just missing something, I think. All right, so
yeah, guys, there's tons of questions we couldn't get to. Remon will do the plug here in a minute, but there's if you come to our Discord channel, there's a channel on our server. It's called like Game Discussion and Help. You feel free to drop your questions in there. I mean, Remon and I might not answer it, but there's tons of very knowledgeable people in there that can help you guys out.
And also, if you want to have your questions asked on the live show next week, you could pop your questions in there too. And, we'll just ask them next week and pick up where we left off. For anybody whose questions we didn't get to answer, I'm sorry. We tried to get in as many as I could. Just had a lot to talk about at the offset. But I promise you we'll have a much more lengthy Q&A section next week. And next weekend we're actually going to do the show on Saturday night instead of Friday night because I have an obligation next Friday, so we'll do it on Saturday night. So expect us evening time Saturday night, probably around like 9-10 p.m. and we'll kick it off there. I'm sure we'll get some more information at that point about Revolute Skywalker. Maybe we'll have even some more info about what the best squads are for him, and we'll go over what the best Zetas are for him. From top, the top three. So we'll he has 3 Zetas, so we'll try to pick out the number 1 that you should get, and right behind him. And I think we're also going to do a roster review next week live on this show for one of the Alliance members as well. So look forward to that. Tomorrow you can catch me on the Real Sith of Genius Jedi Academy stream. That'll be 10 a.m. Eastern time on the Real Sith of Genius site. You should check them out. And after the show here, when we sign off, if you'd like to come chat with me and Maurice, you could come join us over in the Alliance Discord. Just follow the instructions at www.thealliancegaming.com to come into our Discord just to chat. Even if you aren't a member of the guild, you're more than welcome to come by and talk anytime. There's tons of great players in there, some of the best players in the world. They can give you any advice that you're looking for. Really every type of player from beginner to end, from beginner to expert is welcome. And we have over 50 plus guilds. So if you're looking for a guild or a place to be, just come over to again thealliancegaming.com and follow your way to the Discord. Also, the website thealliancegaming.com has tons of great content to check out, and you can take a look at a lot of guides, and there's links to lots of videos of members from our community as well. So I really appreciate everybody coming out, and thank you so much for checking out the stream. Thanks for sticking around with us. It's been an hour and a half, and I'm glad everybody enjoyed the stream. I had a lot of fun. Again, look forward to a Commander Luke video tomorrow. I'll be posting that sometime either in the morning or in the afternoon tomorrow. So definitely check that out. I'm going to go over the unlocking of him, and I'll also go over some arena matches. So we'll do some arena trials with Jedi Luke, or Commander Luke, and we'll discuss that. So again, thank you so much for checking us out. Me and Maurice will be back next week, and as usual, may the Force be with you guys, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.